What's your favorite donghua? I have released plenty of videos related to my favorite donghua, but I've actually only seen very few donghua titles. That is, until I asked for recommendations from you guys. I did that through this post, and I received more recommendations than what I had expected. A Donghua master has even listed way more titles than I could ever imagine. Wow. But before you get surprised why some titles are not included, please allow me to briefly explain the criteria. So, this video will only consist of titles which I haven't seen by the time I posted this. With that, among the exclusions are Scissor 7, Mom I'm Sorry, Heaven Official's Blessing, Spirit Pact, Please Take My Brother Away, Twin Spirit Detectives, and of course, my current obsession, Link Click. By the way, not all of the titles I have mentioned are among my favorites, and I actually dropped one of them, but I'll keep quiet about it for now. Oh, the webtoon version of this series wasn't my type, so I won't bother with its Tonghua adaptation. And then, titles that had not yet premiered by March 2025 are excluded too. I'll consider them for the next batch instead. And that's it for the requirements. The rest of the criteria are just my preferences for the sake of minimizing scope and potential headaches. I watch to relieve stress after all. Speaking of which, there's another important matter that I'd like to highlight. Please note that the titles mentioned in this video are recommendations to me that I had ranked based on how much I enjoyed watching it. So, in other words, I rank not based on how good it is, but based on how much it made me happy. It's not that difficult to make me laugh, but it's also quite easy to make me cringe. My tastes and standards can be very different from most people. And I'm used to it. But of course, if I happen to drop a favorite of yours, that doesn't mean that I will dislike you for it, okay? Don't worry. I also won't be upset if you didn't like the titles which ended up as my favorites either. I won't even mind you saying negative criticisms about the show I like, even if it's Linkly. So what I'm trying to say is that difference in opinions is totally fine. And I hope that's clear. But who knows? Maybe we'll end up with many similar favorites anyway. Or you might discover new favorites thanks to what is shared in this video. So, without further ado, let's start with my least favorite. Titles under the F tier group are the ones I had dropped. The main reason why I dropped most of them is because a certain character annoyed the hell out of me. And even if the show may have had some things that I like, they are, unfortunately, not enough to make me endure more episodes of it. The other things I dislike about the show make it more difficult to continue watching as well. The male lead in this show is okay, but the female lead is not okay for me. Her being the fighter type is not enough to make up for how much she disappointed me. Besides, I'm not fond of the body swap trope anyway, and number 20, No Doubt in Us, isn't going to be an exception. I love looking at this guy with his fan, but I don't want to see more of this girl who's just a burden most of the time. And although I love funny scenes, the comedy style on this series felt weird. So watching more of number 19's Scumbag system will just make me cringe. Worse. The animation on this show's basketball games are spectacular, but I'm infuriated with good looking characters who ignore others for no reason. Slam Dunk's Rukawa seems more sociable than him. Uh, I didn't like the humor much in this show anyway. So, about number 18, Left Hand Layup, I pass. The black and white duo in this show caught my eye, and I'm sure you know why. But I can't stand the main character. Her frequent abuse is not funny to me. And although number 17, God Troubles Me, is indeed very different from the usual, it's giving me the uncomfortable feeling that it's trying too hard to be unique. The animation in this series is phenomenal, and I absolutely love this guy. But its female lead is apparently the generic useless type. Although the actual main character isn't as unbearable as his counterparts, still, only this guy is worth watching. In number 16, Super Cube. But I doubt we'll see more of him. About the titles under the E tier group, actually, I dropped them as well. It's just that, unlike the previous group, I don't recall being very stressed about a certain character. The shows here just made me feel like I'm dying from too much boredom. I like the sand painting art in this show, but that's it. Well, it has comedy and a bit of action, but pretty much everything in number 15, Antidote, were very boring to me. And I sense emo stuff in the later episodes. No thank you. This show has a lot of cool martial arts fight scenes, but the story and the characters in number 14, Thousand Autumns, made me so sleepy. Maybe its chibi series will be fun. I'll check it out later. I acknowledge that the title in the D tier group are better than how they appear, so I did my best and finished one season. But I cannot watch more of them. I like this guy in blue. He caught my eye on the promo poster of number 13, Fairies Album. I'm always happy whenever he shows up. Everything he does amuses me. The main character, on the other hand, makes me annoyed. I don't care if she does awesome stuff. I don't like her attitude. She doesn't make me laugh either. So overall, the series as a whole is okay, but there's not enough motivation for me to watch more of it. The new characters in the latest season don't seem that appealing either. Frankly, I might have dropped these donghua if I didn't know that they were directed by Li Haoling. Yeah, they are also done by Linkclick's creator. I am referring to Be Hero and To Be Heroine, and they are numbers 12 and 11, respectively. These shows had blended various tropes and media in a very creative and impressive way. Storytelling is remarkable as expected, and watching it makes me feel so emotional. The drama is good, but what traumatized me more is that some characters and events remind me of Link Lick. Heck, these boys are like Chen Xiaoshu and Lu Guang prototypes. I can talk more about their similarities, but maybe I'll save those in another video, or else I will never be able to finish this one. However, despite the good things about these shows, the bizarre comedy and the perverted fan service are not my cup of tea. They are already milder compared to other shows, but it was really difficult to endure watching all of that. Thankfully, their successor didn't seem to have followed their footsteps on the fan service department. We are finally in top 10 territory. I actually like the titles under the C tier group a lot. However, there's something about them that made me disappointed or just not very happy with. Number 10 has gorgeous animation. You can tell that the production team had put a lot of love on the Master of Diabolism series. All of its fight scenes were really exciting. I especially love the arcs with zombies. And of course, I adore the interactions of this show's black and white duo. Now I see why some viewers have mentioned about them being similar to the Shirkwang duo. However, the second half of the series reminded me of those romance dramas wherein the villains keep on oppressing the good guys but still get away with it. It was so stressful to watch the main characters be so helpless and only be able to win at the end of the season. I know it has a novel, but its title is known as The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation or Mo Tao Tu Shi. But I don't want to go through the same stress all over again. But it's different for the Chibi series. I need more of it. Number 9 is a mystery, suspense, and psychological series about escape rooms. Combine those genres with intriguing characters. Of course, I got hooked to X and Y, IO Secret Room, very easily. There isn't much bromance, but I like this duo. I also like the main couple's chemistry. However, the writing in the end was beyond disappointing. There are things that don't have closure and don't make sense. It was frustrating. Oh, I'm very upset with the wasted potential on the characters and the story. It's so ruined that I can't imagine how season 2 can fix it, if ever there will be. Oh well, it was still a lot of fun to watch Iota Misher, despite those headaches. Oh my god. Number 8 feels like watching the Shirkwang duo dealing with antiques instead of photos. Then these black and white furries are like Shirkwang animal versions as actual characters in the main story. It's difficult not to have link-click delusions while watching Silent House. Glasses Guy gives off Zhang Xiaoshu energy with how talkative and clingy he is. But with the way he says, 老板,
老板，
it reminds me of Xiaofei so much.
老板，
The tone of when they call their 老板 sounds similar too.
老板，你可算来了，我还以为我们要完蛋了。
While the other guy oozes with lukewarm aura with how calm and mature he is. But his Chinese style outfit and his overpoweredness remind me of Vane. And him being called 老板 makes my delusions worse. But for some reason, I think there's something lacking about this series. It has something to do with the story and the characters, but I don't think I can explain it well. Maybe, for example, I'm sad about what the series did to this guy. You know, if his scenes got deleted, I think there won't be any impact to the story at all. What wasted potential. But overall, this series is pretty good. The main characters are so sweet and adorable, they give me diabetes. So, although I can't explain my dissatisfaction, it was fun to watch. As the top recommended series to me by Linklick fans, I agree that Yasha is a series that many Linklick fans will enjoy. Actually, the titles under the B tier group are pretty much the same as those in C tier. Their only major difference is that they didn't give me as much headaches. I love the black and white duo of number 7. They're not that close, but it's so cool when they fight together and when they fight against each other. And for a show that appears manly, I like how women are portrayed in this series. They're not simply weaklings that need to be rescued. They can be strong in their own way, whether she's a major character or a minor character. Putting aside the villains, the only character I didn't like in this series is this kid. He's too spoiled that it annoyed me. But the boy isn't always like that, and his moments with the main character are very wholesome. So it's ignorable. Anyway, I am pleased that this series didn't only do an excellent job on the fight scenes, but it had good humor and drama too. The physical, political, and psychological battles are very thrilling. So I really enjoyed watching Blade of the Guardians, which is also known as Biao Fengji Da Mo. Number 6 is a very imaginative short film that forces you to think about what the heck is going on. Don't get me wrong, I mean that in a good way. It covers philosophical and psychological topics and explores themes related to the mind, like one's memory. Actually, the title is False Memory. It's also called 记忆管理区, which literally means the Memory Management Bureau. Reminds me of Link Click, wherein the original title's meaning sounds cooler. But anyway, I've heard that it will have a series this 2025, and this time it will have more characters and will even involve some time traveling. It will most likely have the same amazing animation on the fight scenes too. I have very high hopes on this. Number 5 is about the daily life of Chinese mythological creatures in the modern world. I admit that some of its episodes had bored me a bit, but I don't have major complaints. Besides, it always makes me excited when my favorite characters show up, like this merciless mooncake rabbit girl and this omniscient loser. And it's amusing to watch these two argue like kids. And this guy with the broader complex is so, oh my god. Anyway, as a mythology lover, I appreciate the non human Fairy series for helping me learn new things in a fun way. Number 4 is similar to the previous series, but this time it's about Western supernatural creatures living together in the modern world. All the characters in this series are so silly, but charming in their own way. Oh, the main character is a demon that is obsessed with pandas, so I approve of him immediately. My favorite is this angel. It's so amusing when he's bickering with the main character's older brother. Hooray for angel and demon bromance. It's also so funny when he's on protective older brother mode. Yeah, he does not approve the main couple's relationship. Oh, they're not canon. I do ship them though. It will be an angel and demon romance. It's the classic star-crossed lovers trope. But it's one-sided so far. And they're even in a love triangle because of this angel guy. But it's a very different love triangle from the usual. They're very wholesome as a trio too. Anyway, I really laugh or giggle on almost every episode of All Saints Street, Wang Shuntie. So don't miss the fun and start watching too. And now, we are finally on top 3 territory. Naturally, titles in the A tier group are the ones I enjoyed watching the most in this batch. Allow me to introduce, drumroll please. Number 3 is actually set in a world that is like a purgatory. Yeah, the characters are actually dead already, but if they win in a mecha fight, they get to acquire a part of their memories. And once they have collected enough memories, they can go back to the living world. Its main character seems to be the dumb girl type, but don't underestimate her. There is more to her than what meets the eye. So, she eventually grew on me. Now I see her as an amusing, adorable, and remarkable little girl who occasionally breaks my heart. And oh, I love her dynamic with the male lead. Their relationship seems platonic, but I don't mind it becoming romantic later. They have the soulmate like connection, and I am a sucker for that. And of course, I didn't miss the black and white pair in this series. They're technically not a duo, but you will see what I mean once you watch it. The show is mainly in 3D animation, but there are live action parts. They sort of have a 2D style as seen on this promo poster. Oh wait, let's change it. The art style on this would look more familiar to some, right? It's by Inplick. It's the same as Linklick's artist. Ringing Fate or Mingyin Tiantai is actually by Linklick's creator too. So there's the usual amazing animation, the creative and impressive storytelling, the charming and remarkable characters, and the trauma. If you already like Linklick and or To Be Hero X, you've got to collect the Li Haoling Trinity. Number 2 is about a black cat. That is no ordinary black cat. The show starts with simple slice of life adventures and then 2 battles between supernatural creatures. All of the characters in this series are so silly, yet so charming. I love them all. My favorite is this guy. I swear, it's not only because he is in blue. Character relationships are very wholesome here too. My favorite is between the master and his disciple, but I also like the main duo. They are actually the black and white pair of this show. Somewhat. Well, you see, their names literally mean little black and little white. And although this show's art style appears simple, its animation is really cinematic. No wonder it's being praised as something like China's Ghibli. And oh, I also find this series super hilarious. It can be surprisingly sarcastic and savage sometimes too. I like it the most when they break the fourth wall. And I have delusions whenever I see this scene. Reminds me of a similar scene in Link Click. Cats sure get people's attention, huh? Anyway, the legend of Xiao Hei or Luo Xiao Hei Tenji is not only very enjoyable but also truly extraordinary. Definitely a masterpiece that deserves more glory than it already has. By the way, this Donghua series has 2 seasons so far. It also has a movie, which is its prequel. But I recommend that you watch it based on when it was released. So, watch season 1 first, and then the movie, and then season 2. And hopefully, season 3, or a new movie. Come on! Number 1 is a novel adaptation about an organization that manages people with special abilities. The setting alternates between historical and modern China, but it doesn't center on cultivation, thankfully. The main character is special, of course, and it's not only because he has extraordinary powers, but what makes him different from the rest of the characters is that he is the only one with phoenix wings. He flies freely and beautifully like an actual phoenix. He's even literally seen as one. You know, a certain comment seems convinced that I may become hooked to this series simply because its main character had phoenix wings. Well, that's quite true for me since I like winged characters in general. But what actually won me over is that certain clip that is being played at the beginning of each episode.
我来示范，观众老爷们求一键三连，多多追番，比心。导演就用刚才这条吧。
Oh my god. Please tell me I'm not the only one who felt Teng Xiaoshu energy from this dork. Phoenix Guy is just more sarcastic and he isn't as pure as Teng Xiaoshu. But despite that, and there are many other differences, they generally have similar aura, right? I have many other delusions about them. And them. Maybe I will share those delusions in another video. Let me know if there is interest. Anyway, yes, Phoenix Guy is my favorite. He's so hilarious. One of my favorite scenes of him is this scene. By the way, the other guy is his boss. Yes, he is kicking his boss. Seems that they are close enough that he will be bold enough to kick his boss like that. Aside from being funny, he's also smart and, of course, pretty overpowered. But unlike his counterparts, he cannot do everything on his own. You see, the side characters in this series are not just for display or for comedic purposes only, because their support is actually significant for the overpowered characters to win their battles. And that is seriously very rare in action series in general. Oh my god. It seems that this comment had successfully recruited me to the 烈火挑头 fandom. Oh, Alexa, what have you done to me? I really might end up reading the Drowning Sorrows in Raging Fire novel someday. Whoa. Anyway, its creator seems popular. Are you already familiar with titles by Priest? I'm considering to check out their other works. Let me know if you have recommendations. Now, about the S tier group. Oh, you might be wondering, what could be the title under the topmost tier if I already mentioned top 1? Well, the answer is There is none. Well, none from this batch at least. What will belong to this group are the likes of Link Click. But I need to limit the titles that end up here because it's quite unhealthy to be addicted to many things. There's a strong candidate for this tier though. I'll consider that in a future video. So, how about you? Do we have mutual favorites? Which title do you want to see more of? The channel already covers link click content, but I'm considering to add new titles. I cannot promise, of course, but so far, I already have my eyes on To Be Hero X and Lord of Mysteries. Till then, thanks for watching and hope to see you again. Take care!